Okay, so you do want the patient seated with the knee flexed to assess both dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. So again, if we're talking about concepts of passive or active insufficiency, why would we want the knee bent when we're measuring ankle dorsiflexion versus having it straight out on the table?
Limit passive insufficiency of the calf.
Exactly. Yep, of the gastroc. Yep, gastroc soleus complex. But yep. So that's why the knee is bent when we're testing for ankle dorsiflexion, so we can get a really good sense of what's happening at the ankle joint versus the muscle length of the calf. So if we're assessing first just passive range of motion, I'm going to use it right here. So I'm going to be grasping underneath the plantar aspect of the foot, and I'm going to be putting a force superior into dorsiflexion. Okay, so I'm stabilizing just proximal to the malleoli and applying pressure superiorly into dorsiflexion. And typically this is a firm end feel. Sometimes it can feel more of, so if we're talking about trying to distinguish between a capsular end feel and a muscle end feel, so capsular end feel is going to be a non-yielding firmness. So meaning we get to that point of resistance, and as I apply overpressure, it really doesn't want to move much more. So I would consider that a non-yielding firmness, which indicates to me that there's probably more of a capsular tightness or restriction, versus if I get to that end range and press into overpressure, and it kind of easily gives a little bit more into the range, that would make me think more muscle or fascia restriction. So does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. I saw like maybe a no. Okay.
I was like delayed for a second.
Okay, okay. Okay, so we get a sense for the end feel, and then to measure the range of motion, our landmarks are going to be the lateral malleolus. You're going to align the moving arm parallel to the fifth metatarsal, and then the stationary arm is going to go up to the fibular head. So I might have to go in front of you so I can. Okay. So again, stabilizing on the distal ankle, I get a sense for, oh, you have pretty good range. That's pretty good. I was thinking maybe like 10 degrees. I find a lot of people are quite limited in ankle dorsiflexion as well. So there's his fibular head. I'm on his lateral malleolus on the fulcrum. You can kind of stabilize the arm with your hand on the leg once you get it lined up, and then making sure that that moving arm is parallel to the fifth met. Okay. All right, and then you take your measurement, and actually he has about 20 degrees of range, which is very good for dorsiflexion range. And then for plantar flexion, you can keep your goniometer at the same landmark, so fibular head, lateral malleolus, and then you're applying pressure down into plantar flexion. And again, keeping the moving arm parallel with the fifth met. And I would be doing this without socks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you want to take them off?
Yeah, I want to take it off just so that you can see it a little bit better. So, no socks. It's going to allow you to
Sorry.
palpate.
Yeah, from over there too? Wow. I really feel sorry for Dr. Wood.
Yeah, it's all good. Okay. All right, and then you take your measurement. He has about 53 degrees, which is good. Okay.